Welcome to a Life Illuminated podcast. I'm your host, Jack McAdoo, bringing you the show that shines a light on the path to a more purposeful and fulfilling life. Whether you're looking for motivation, direction, or just a little extra inspiration, we've got you covered. Aloha, everyone. I hope you're doing well today, man. I hope that I'm coming into your space and you're actually feeling amazing and it's just a good day for you. I want to jump into shadow work, a little bit of shadow work. When we realize that we need to kind of change some things about us, we're not change some things about ourselves that we know we've needed work on for a while, or we've noticed in our life that certain things aren't going right. And, what is it? Is it something that we're doing? Is it the environment that we're in? Is it the friends that we're around? And we realize, in some instances, it's all of that. But first, we have to get to the core, the root, which is us, the way we do things, the way we think about things, the way we say things, how we get involved in certain situations, our reactions to certain situations, basically everything. And then we find that one thing or many things. And we begin to do the work, and we're feeling excited about it. The changes are becoming evident to people around us, but most of all to ourselves. We're feeling good. We know that we've released some negative energy, and everything is going good. And we're basically going on to the next phase, the next step. What else do we need to work on? But sometimes there are people around us that get upset. We'll talk to them and they're upset that we've changed something about ourselves for the betterment of us and really for them, and they're not seeing it. And again, nothing is being done really for them. This is the shadow work. In relationships, friendships, marriage, dating, whatever, there's always that term or that saying, you need to fix yourself, you need to change yourself. So you go in and you do it. In some instances, you're doing it to help the relationship, but more for yourself, because once you change yourself and you do the work that's preventing you from nourishing and fostering a relationship, it works. You know what I mean? It's going to work for that as well. It's the residual effect of it. But sometimes, you're just doing simple work on yourselves, and friends or colleagues or whatever get upset. You're like, what are you doing? And you're just living in your truth now. And you try to explain that to them. I'm doing some work on myself. I've just decided that it was best for me to move away from certain things, to change certain things in my life. And I really, really want to live in my truth, my true existence. And it's not to piss you off or anything. And then sit and talk with them. Maybe your shadow work is bringing out the shadow work that they need to do. They are responding to your work and how you shifted. They're responding because they need that work in themselves, and they don't like it. They don't like that you've changed something that they cannot, but they don't know that they truly can. So in your work can benefit someone else. And it's just sitting down with them in a loving space, finding a space of love and education, and use it as a tool to help them. Once you are grounded in yourself, don't do this while you're working on your own shadows. Don't do that. You need to ground yourself first and then get into it with your friend or your colleague or your family member and find out what it is that triggered them to you. You're coaching them through this now. I did this for myself. I did the work. It took some time, and you're triggered by it. So let's get into the trigger. Why and what caused you to trigger? Is it a jealous thing? Is it something that you're insecure about in your life? Is there a fear that because I changed and did some work on myself that you feared that I'm going to be drifting away now? And then your response should always be honest to any of those yes answers. Be honest with your feelings about that. But make sure that when you're asking these questions, to respond in kind, in love to those answers, and then get into it. Find out what those triggers are. And then guide them through the process. But you have to be grounded in yourself. You can never come to that space, having ego, a pat on the back for yourself. Look at me. I've done this shadow work. If you need that, if you need some kind of adulation or whatever that is, because for whatever you've done, then your work is not complete. You're far from it. It's exciting for yourself. Clap for your damn self that you've done something that's going to improve your life, but make sure you've done it before you step into someone else's space, because that is, a sacred space for them, because you're helping them and guiding them through a life-changing event, a personality change for them. Because, like I said, our shadows can ignite so many things in so many people, regardless. We could work on a fear. We could work on an addiction within ourselves that has triggered someone, but it's going to ignite something, some shadow in their life that has nothing to do with ours, that they will be inspired by your work and the outcome of it. You could be working on an addiction and they could be working on fear or need to work on fear in their life. But you have to go in with love. Talk to them about your growth, about how it's changed you, and the reasons why you went into it, why you felt the work was necessary on a particular shadow in your life, and the benefits that are coming from that. And how it benefits not just you, but them. That you are this better being in front of them. You're the better friend, the colleague, the family member. You're the better being because of it. But don't snap back at their anger or fear or negativity towards you for the change. Always be there in love. And so many times, we have to deal with the judging. And then we turn around and judge them, and then the work is for nothing. You know what I mean? We have to embrace our own work on ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, and just don't worry about the noise. If someone claps back at you and you enter the space with kindness and love and positivity about asking why are you angry with me? I did something well. And if they keep going and they don't want to find and do the work on themselves, then you need to step away from it. Give them a chance to breathe. Go about your life, not ignoring them forever for now, but go about your life and your business and enjoy the work that you've done, prosper, reap the benefits of your work, and then later on go back to them. And if it's the same thing, then that's usually a sign that you just have to, eliminate that energy from your life, so to speak. It's just time to stay away. And you can also find the fakeness of it as well. And if that's the case, same thing, it's time to step away. But a lot of times people will just, once they've clapped back at you and you stayed away a while and you come back and you're still this new person, they don't even mention it anymore because they forgot about it. Because the shadows still exist in their own life and they've suppressed it and, more work for them. But once we harness that shadow, once we have worked on it, corrected it, defeated it even, we need to move on to the next. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. We're constantly growing in our spirituality, in our healthy eating, in our knowledge. We've walked away from certain things that just feed us negativity and that spark, maybe it's hatred inside of you or fear inside of you, that addiction inside of you, whatever it may be. What's, the relationship, you're tired, whatever it is. We just need to move on to the next one and be so proud of ourselves that we've done the work. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not sabotaging yourself. It's not an ego trip. It's just like, wow, man, I dealt with that shadow, the demon inside of me, so to speak. I brought it out and it's better. People struggle with alcohol. That's just, it's one of those things. It's one of those shadows that they need to work on. There's the group setting that they go to and they get cheered on, and that's an amazing thing. And it's just the work, and we need to be there to support others' work as well. It's not just you, man. You got to support the people that are doing it. You could be in the middle of working something out in your life and approach a friend or someone that is doing the same thing, in theirs, and you can talk about it. So be supportive of each other and hang with that person, because that's the person that is genuine and truly holds space for you in all things. They're going to listen to you. They're going to listen to your trials and errors. They're going to listen. Key word. Not sit there in front of you and just wah, 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 and everything kind of bounces and they nod, yeah. Someone that listens and absorbs what you're saying because they have that answer or a possible direction, and you need to be open in that space for them as well. We have to, because there's no sense in dumping on someone and then you're not there for them to dump on. It goes both ways. And when I say dump, I'm not talking about the negative energy or anything. Sometimes you have to open yourself up to listening to it because you're there to help with the work. So it may be some negative stuff being spewed, but it's not a negative space. It is a space of love, and you're holding that space of love, and you're keeping love and that positive energy there while someone dumps. So you're protecting yourself from that energy. So let them dump, but you come back to that negativity with positive love, positive reinforcement, and ideas that could help them shift in their shadow. And that's what we're here for. So when people go off on us or don't like what we're doing, that's on them. Don't snap at them. Don't jump back at them. Don't clap back at them. Because that's where the ego gets into play. Oh, so you don't like what I did? Man, screw you. That's on you. No, just you come back at it in a positive way. Just, what's up? I did some work for me, and I've changed a few things that were causing me heartache in my life, or, it was draining my energy, and I fixed that for myself. So how and why is that triggering you? We need to get to that core. Sit with them, man. And just help them live in their truth while they're looking at your truth. Why walk around living a lie for yourself? Why continue to hurt? And that's what we need to explain to others. Why are you walking around not living in your truth? Why are we walking around not being who we should be and the things that we enjoy? Why are we walking around worrying about what the fuck someone else thinks about us? Why? Who cares? How is worrying about someone thinks about you benefiting your life? You let that shit in, it's going to crush all the work that you've done and all the future work you're going to do, because at that point, you're going to be worrying, oh my gosh, if I fix this, what is this person going to think about it? What is that person going to think? Who cares, man? This is for you. If you feel good about the work that you're doing in your life, honestly, that is all that matters. And you know this. But if you're wrapped up in someone else's feelings, man, that's more work for you. That is another form of work. That is something in your life that you need to fix. The approval of someone else. If you are doing something that is definitely not hurting someone or infringing on someone's space, you're good. Don't worry about it. But my gosh, once you begin to worry about the adulations and appreciations of someone else and what they think of you and the negativity they're getting ready to vomit all over you, you need more work. Great for you. Congratulations. You got that one shadow out of your life, but now here's another one that you got to deal with. And that's a big one, man. That's a big one for a lot of us, that we're just so worried about what people are going to think of the work that we've done. Build in silence. I've always said build in silence, no matter what it is. In work, in business, in relationships, in money, in finances, and everything, build in silence. So when you're doing the work, you need to build in silence. If someone is close and personal to you, yes, you can tell them, look, I've decided to go work on this. You know, that thing we've always talked about, well, I'm beginning the work and I could really use your support during this time. And if they're truly a friend and loving in your space, then they're actually going to be there for you. And that's, you know, one way to express it outside of building in silence. You're still doing that, but you've got some help and support. There are a lot of things that, you know, we just can't do by ourselves. We have to kick things around with people. But man, build in silence. And then don't go and tell someone, oh, I fixed this in my life. Just, you've done it. You fixed it. The more you talk about it, the more it's still there. So you haven't fixed it. Fix whatever it is in your life. Deal with that shadow, no matter what it is. And then once you know you've accomplished it and you feel good, let it go, walk forward. Why keep bringing it? Well, I fixed my fear. Okay, well, why are you talking about it? Just go live your life fearless. And again, unless we're talking to someone that is triggered by noticing it, you know, then we bring out that work inside of them. Why are you triggered by me getting over my fear? You can mention it in general conversation. I'm not saying that you just can't go anywhere and say, man, I did some work and I'm proud. I'm proud of myself, man. I'm here for you. Yeah, that's good, but just don't walk around arrogant about the shit. You know what I mean? We each have our own journey. We each have our own shadows. Those demons, those things that irk us, and we know that they irk us, but we allow them to exist. We can remove anything from our life. Literally, we can remove anything and everything from our life, but we have to do the work. And again, ignore them, man. You know who the people are. They're in your life. We all have them. Just ignore it and keep working on you. It benefits you to just do the work, man, no matter what it is. And for all of those out doing the work in some shape or form now, man, go for it. Go for it. Sending you love and peace, man. Just do it. Do that work. It's going to get tough sometimes. Sometimes you'll be sitting alone and you'll break down and you'll just release. And a lot of times that's all it takes. Sit down, not in that negative, sad space. I mean, you're going to have to walk into it a little bit, feel it, and find out what it is in there and let those emotions go. But know that that is the release. And once you have that release, don't sit and dwell in it. Don't. You've let it go, man. Applaud yourself. There's step one. A lot of times we don't recognize that. We get sad about something. We start thinking about it. Oh, my life is this. And woe with me. And we start crying. But if we can dive into those emotions and those feelings and that energy, then that's where the real work begins. So that sad, depressing moment actually becomes the work to pull ourselves out of that, to pull ourselves out of that memory, that moment, whatever is triggering that reaction. That's where we need to dive in. That's where the trigger is. And that emotional state is the answer. And then come out of that and then work out of that. And then don't go back to it. Let it go. That's what the release is. That is your body releasing that energy, those tears, that heartbreak. And that's where shifts begin for you, man. That is where it begins for each one of us. Get into it. Get into that space. I applaud you if you're doing the work. It's a virtual energy thing for you. Literally, I'm sending that to you. I feel you. And if you're listening to me now and you know that there's some work inside of you that needs to be done, do it. I'm here to support you. Reach out to me. Email me. Go to my website. Fill out a form. I'll put you in touch with someone. If you need medicine, I'm not talking about over-the-counter stuff or a prescription. If you need some experience, if you need some light healing, if you need something, reach out. If you need a pastor, reach out. But go for the work. Go for that work. If my voice in this message is triggering something inside of you, some fear, some anxiousness, overeating, no matter what it is, man, start that journey. It is not an easy journey. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it's not. But if you go in with an absolutely fantastic mindset, you're going to do fine, even if you do it on your own. And most of the work needs to be done on your own. It's sitting in that space, getting in silence, getting everything right, getting your energy right, vibing with your heart-mind coherence, heart-brain coherence, getting into that space where you're seeing in your energy, where I talked about in the last episode. You're getting into your energy. You're seeing that you're this being. Get into that space and then deal with the shit. Cry, sweat, bring out those tears, laugh, experience the joy. Not every shadow work is, depressing. There's some things that you just have to tweak, but get in there. Get in there and then notice what is causing that trigger. Why are you feeling this way? Why are you doing it? And get into that. Find that feeling of why. Find it. Find it. And then once you find it, then know that you can get rid of it. And then at that point, the real work begins. Well, maybe I can shift this and I don't have to go here. I need to do this, or my response needs to be, find it. And then set it in stone. Place it into your conscious and subconscious mind so it's automatic. And then let that shit go. And then move on. Move on to the next one. I remember years ago with me being up and down and all over the place. If you know my story, you can go to my website, jackmcadoo.com, and you can read a little bit about me. There's a lot to the story. There's a lot to this onion. But I found myself in the work, in learning all the situations that I had placed myself in and all the blame that I was releasing to everyone else. And then one day it just hit me. Humility's a mother. You know what I mean? And then I began to work with that, and I have changed, and I'm still changing. I did the work, and I'm still doing the work, because this was a life-changing event, but it was a cycle. It was a cycle of repeating itself, and it was harming me, and it was harming the people around me. It wasn't drugs or anything like that, but it was the way I thought and the way I approached life, and it was just spiraling me. And then one day, sitting by a creek in Kentucky, it hit me, just hit me with love. And it was this word. And that was it. And then the whole shift happened. And then I still did the work. And then a few years later, there was another word, a single word. And that shifted. And here I am today, feeling a lot better about myself. And I share this with you, not as, again, it's not ego, but it's a teaching moment for each of us. That I've just felt that moment, and I'm still in that space, but I'm still learning and I'm still working. Working on yourself is a forever project. Dealing with shadows is, that's one thing. But always working on yourself for the betterment of you is a constant process until the day we close our eyes. But we can always live in an amazing space and an amazing peace just by doing the little things for ourselves. And regardless of how people clap back at you, don't worry about it. Work on that. Work on that. Who gives two, who cares what they think? You're not here to impress. If you're here to impress someone, then you need to work on that. There's a lot of things we need to work out. Write it down. Write down those things. Be honest. Look in the mirror. Write down those things that are irritating you about yourself. Be honest. I mean, shit, if you can't be honest with yourself, then damn. You know what I mean? You have to remove yourself from the noise, from everything. Look in the mirror, if you must, and start writing shit down. Why am this? I am a negative ass sometimes. I am going off sometimes. I have these thoughts sometimes. Write it down. There's your shadows. And pick one and begin working. And normally when you work on one, the rest seem to just fall into place. But dive in deep. Each one of you, dive deep. Find those triggers, man. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe. Please share it with your friends. It builds this show. It builds the community. And it's been growing. And I thank you so very, very much. And I thank you for allowing me into your space and giving me the time, because I do honestly know how valuable it is. So enjoy, man. Sending you each peace and love. Peace and aloha, everyone.